The courtroom was electric with tension. News had just broken that music mogul Diddy had lost control during a court appearance, sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. But what made it even more explosive was that 50 Cent had just dropped bombshell revelations about Diddy's past. Deep, dark secrets that many thought would never see the light of day. Social media went into meltdown mode. Reporters scrambled to verify the facts while fans were glued to their phones, trying to piece it all together. Everyone wanted to know, what did 50 Cent say that triggered Diddy so badly? And how could someone so powerful be so shaken? As the headlines exploded, one thing became clear. This was not just celebrity drama. This was something bigger. A reckoning. A moment where truth collided with power in the most public, brutal way possible. And the story was only beginning to unfold. The courthouse was packed. Diddy walked in, seemingly composed, but those close to him noticed a flicker of tension. The moment the prosecutor referenced 50 Cent's allegations, everything changed. Diddy's demeanor cracked. He interrupted the proceedings, shouting at his legal team, slamming a folder to the floor. Security was called in, and even the judge had to take a brief recess to restore order. Courtroom attendees described Diddy's behavior as unhinged and shocking. Some said it was rage, others saw it as fear. Legal experts speculated that something about 50 Cent's revelations had touched a nerve too deep to hide. The judge issued a warning, and reporters outside were quick to describe the moment as a career-defining breakdown. Diddy had weathered storms before, but this was different. This was raw, unscripted, and real. As he sat back down, hands trembling slightly, you could sense it, the beginning of a major unraveling. The court was no longer just a legal battleground. It had become a stage for truth. 50 Cent had been quiet for weeks, but when he finally spoke, it was with the precision of a man who knew exactly what he was doing. He took to social media with a cryptic caption and a clip from an old industry party, one that allegedly showed disturbing behavior involving Diddy and unnamed guests. But that was just the beginning. In a live stream, 50 revealed years of what he called hidden truths, including questionable business deals, manipulative relationships, and events from Diddy's early rise that had long been rumored but never confirmed. He claimed to have spoken to former bodyguards, assistants, even producers who had seen too much and stayed silent for too long. The internet exploded. Blogs dissected every sentence, fans shared clips, and even mainstream news picked it up. What shocked everyone wasn't just the accusations, but how calmly 50 delivered them, as if he had been waiting for this moment. The revelations included everything from sketchy financial tactics to psychological manipulation. 50 Cent wasn't just throwing shade, he was digging up graves. Whether you believed every word or not, one thing was clear. He had receipts, and that terrified a lot of people. Diddy's past has always been a topic of intrigue, but most people assumed the worst stories were exaggerated. That's what made 50 Cent's expose so chilling. It connected the dots. Stories about private parties where phones were banned, rumors about how rival artists mysteriously faded away, whispers of secret settlements with former employees. All those things started to feel real. There were accounts of young artists being lured into one-sided contracts, only to be discarded once they were no longer profitable. Diddy, known for his charm and influence, was portrayed as a master manipulator who thrived on control. Some claims touched on emotional abuse, others on dangerous power dynamics within his inner circle. 50's expose resurfaced unresolved questions about past incidents involving celebrities who had once been close to Diddy, but later cut ties under mysterious circumstances. Was it coincidence, or part of a bigger pattern. Then came the dark stories, hushed-up lawsuits, private investigators allegedly paid off, and a trail of fear left behind by those who dared to speak up. The glamorous image of Diddy that the public knew began to crack, revealing something much colder, much more calculated underneath. If even a fraction of what 50 Cent said was true, then the industry had helped shield a deeply broken empire. As the dust settled from 50's revelations, other celebrities began responding in ways that added fuel to the fire. Some posted vague tweets that seemed to reference the chaos, while others were more direct. Rapper Meek Mill shared a cryptic message about truth always catching up, while an old video of Kanye West warning about hidden agendas resurfaced and went viral. On the flip side, a few notable figures came out in support of Diddy, either out of loyalty or self-protection. Mary J. Blige, who has a long history with Diddy, urged fans to wait for facts before forming opinions. But the divide was clear. Even behind closed doors, industry insiders were whispering about which camp to stand with, Team 50 or Team Diddy. Major labels reportedly held emergency meetings to discuss their public positioning. Brands that had collaborated with Diddy's companies began quietly reviewing their partnerships. The controversy wasn't just a personal clash, it had become a cultural moment. And with the entertainment world watching closely, the question now wasn't just who was telling the truth, but who would survive the fallout. The internet turned into a battlefield overnight. Twitter threads dissected every frame of 50 Cent's video, while Reddit users pulled up years of old interviews, looking for clues that matched the new accusations. TikTok creators began compiling timelines of Diddy's alleged behavior, some gaining millions of views in hours. Memes exploded. One showed Diddy behind bars photoshopped with the caption, "Bad boy for life in jail." Another had 50 Cent wearing a detective hat, hunting for truth. Hashtags like Diddy Exposed and 50 Truth Bomb trended for days. But it wasn't just jokes. There were serious discussions, too. Influencers and YouTubers made long-form videos breaking down the power dynamics in the industry, questioning how so much could have been hidden for so long. Many fans expressed shock, not just at Diddy's alleged actions, but at their own past support for him. Some even started movements to boycott his products. The comment sections were flooded with arguments, some defending Diddy, others saying this reckoning was overdue. Regardless of which side you were on, one thing was undeniable. The internet had turned the story into a full-blown cultural moment, and there was no going back. The legal implications of everything happening became a dominant focus. Several attorneys, including celebrity legal analysts, went on record to say Diddy's courtroom behavior could hurt his standing in ongoing and future lawsuits. Some even suggested that his outburst might influence judges to question his credibility. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, whispers grew louder that federal investigators were re-examining old allegations. Sources close to the case mentioned possible new witnesses coming forward. The resurfaced stories from 50 Cent's exposé could serve as supplemental evidence, especially if linked to existing legal filings. In addition, civil suits were reportedly being considered by former employees and associates, emboldened by 50's call-out. Some legal experts said the fallout could extend far beyond Diddy, into his business empire, partnerships, and even into how corporate America engages with celebrity influencers moving forward. PR firms were scrambling to distance their clients. One publicist noted that Diddy was now seen as a toxic brand. With every legal analysis, the picture grew darker. What began as a courtroom incident now had the potential to evolve into a multi-layered legal war. And if charges were filed, we could be witnessing the downfall of one of the most iconic figures in hip-hop history. As pressure mounted, Diddy finally broke his silence. In a short statement through his legal team, he denied all allegations, calling them a coordinated smear campaign fueled by envy and greed. But his tone, instead of reassuring, came off defensive. The usual confidence was missing. His fans were divided. Some stood by him, saying this was nothing more than an orchestrated takedown, while others felt the silence had gone on too long. Reports emerged of Diddy retreating from public life, skipping planned events, and even canceling upcoming appearances. Sources close to him described his emotional state as fragile. Friends said he felt betrayed, especially by former associates, who seemed to be switching sides. The glamorous image of the unstoppable mogul was fading. He looked tired, not just physically, but spiritually. Rumors flew about panic behind the scenes, brand deals on hold, media interviews dropped, and though he tried to keep up a strong front, those watching closely could see the cracks. For a man who built his brand on power and control, this level of vulnerability was new. And for many fans, it raised the question, had the king finally been dethroned? As the dust settled from 50's revelations, other celebrities began responding in ways that added fuel to the fire. Some posted vague tweets that seemed to reference the chaos, while others were more direct. Rapper Meek Mill shared a cryptic message about truth always catching up, while an old video of Kanye West warning about hidden agendas resurfaced and went viral. On the flip side, a few notable figures came out in support of Diddy, either out of loyalty or self-protection. Amid the chaos, questions began to arise about 50 Cent's motivations. Was this all part of a deeper plan? Some believed he was simply standing up for truth and justice, using his platform to shine a light on what the industry had long ignored. Others saw it as a strategic power play, an attempt to shake up the old guard and reclaim influence. Whatever the reason, 50 had the upper hand. He remained calm, focused, and even playful in his online responses. He posted memes, shared fan reactions, and stayed on the offensive. But beneath the humor was a sense of mission. He wanted to dismantle not just Diddy, but the system that protected people like him. Industry insiders admitted they were nervous. If 50 kept going, more secrets could spill out. And with his fan base growing by the minute, fueled by a desire for truth, it was clear he wasn't done. The battle between these two titans wasn't just personal. It had become symbolic. And as the world watched, one man's fall had become another man's rise.